Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about how to glow from the inside out. And today I'm coming at you with another testing new skincare video. So I'm going to be testing out new releases from Cosrx, dr.ceuracle, and from Purcell. Now this video series is really about giving you my middle impressions, really testing these products in real time, talking through ingredients, benefits, claims, the texture, the performance, how it's been working for me and my skin. These are not first impressions. I have been using these products off camera, but these are also not final impressions either. Sometimes skincare doesn't really reveal its full benefits to you until you finish the entire bottle, right? So these are really middling impressions, but these are all brand new products, some pretty new and exciting things here in this video. And I did one last month that you all really enjoyed. You can definitely check that out. I will put it on screen right now and you can check it out in the pinned comment. But I would love to hear from you if you want me to continue this series, because I actually have been really enjoying just talking through some skincare in real time. It's been really fun. I think you enjoy it too, but let me know. And of course, if there's anything that you'd like to see me feature, like brand new things that I've never talked about before, let me know in the comments all of your suggestions. And of course, if you love the video at any time, hit subscribe and come join our skincare community if you like what you see and you want to see some more skincare content from me. All right, play my intro, give the video a big thumbs up, and let's get started. So let's start off with the Purcell Pixel Biome 2 million per milliliter Lactobacillus bifida treatment. So this is actually a very straightforward treatment. It is using the fermented ingredients, and it is meant to not only strengthen up your skin barrier, but also to bring out that really healthy glow to your skin. So they're using 45% of a bifida ferment lysate. So this is a probiotic ingredient, and what it's really well known for is helping to strengthen the skin barrier. It also helps to decrease skin sensitivity, and it is one of those ingredients, that it contributes to stronger, healthier skin in the long run. 45%, pretty good amount. And then the other star ingredient here is the 45% of lactobacillus ferment lysate. So this actually derived from lactic acid. And this has a couple of different benefits, including helping to support your skin's microbiome, which works in tandem with your skin barrier to keep your skin strong, healthy, and to defend against UV, pollution, bacteria, all the bad stuff that causes damaging inflammation in the skin. It also can help just to kind of help rejuvenate the skin. It may contribute to some collagen stimulating processes, which helps it to be a well-aging ingredient. It also helps to increase hydration. It does also support the skin barrier as well as the skin microbiome, and it has an antibacterial benefit to it as well, making it a good choice for acne-prone skin. So this has an extremely watery texture. I mean, there are really no texture enhancers, really no other hydrating ingredients. So it really is just kind of like a pure fermented water type of texture. You see, there's no body, there's no plumpness. There's really no fullness to this at all. It's a very, very thin, quickly absorbs, almost disappears into the skin. It really doesn't offer hydration. And it honestly, to me, this feels like a first essence. So if you've been into K-beauty for a while, you may be familiar. This type of product has kind of lost popularity. They're still available. It's a very much if you know kind of a product. I haven't really seen them resurge in popularity recently, but they are these types of essences that contain a high amount of fermented ingredients. They have this very thin, quickly absorbed, no hydration, no moisture, no plumpness texture. They're just about getting those fermented ingredients into your skin, and they are meant to promote the skin barrier, skin health, help with anti-aging or well-aging concerns, improve the complexion, improve texture. And that's exactly what this product claims to do. It's exactly the texture that this has. And this is recommended to be applied first. So I did wash my face. I have nothing else on. This goes first before hydrating toner, because technically hydrating toner is thicker in texture than this is. And it would go before any serums or any traditional essence products that you have. So cleanse your face and then put this on first. So I have found that putting it onto the back of my hand, as you see, it just keeps dripping off. Doesn't work. We gotta go the TikTok route here. So this has There we go. You see how watery that is? It just ran right down my cheek. And just a little bit of, and it's absorbed. It has the dropper built in, this rubbery dropper. So when you get it out of the box, it is actually, the dropper will come separate in this other compartment here. You will have to remove the metal foil, which, be careful, you can cut your finger open on that. This is actually really the ideal packaging for this type of incredibly runny texture. I really can't see any other way to apply it. And this is, again, no hydration, no plumpness, no thickness, no moisture, no grease. This is just going right into my skin. It smells fermented. It smells like sake, actually. It almost kind of reminds me, not entirely, but it reminds me a lot of the SK2 essence. If you've ever tried that, it's extremely fermented. Yeah, I've been playing around with this one for a while. Since it doesn't really offer much to my skin in terms of hydration, you know, it is pretty easy to add into my routine, but I do still have to go on with my other toners and essences. It's not really replacing anything. It's kind of going in addition to, just because I have so many hydration and moisture needs, especially we're still in the thick of winter. So for me, it hasn't been super impressive overall so far. So if you have really sensitive skin, you're struggling with your skin barrier with dehydration, this is a nice addition. It's really not a replacement for your ceramide cholesterol fatty acids, my personal opinion. Some folks have had successful barrier strengthening with just using bifida ferment, 45%. No joke, that's a lot, right? As well as the other, you know, fermented ingredients in here. It's nice. It really is like a first essence, like I said, if you're familiar with that. However, pretty small, right? Pretty small. This is not a product where a little goes a long way, because it just absorbs in your skin so quickly. It doesn't really spread. So you will probably go through this pretty fast. I'll have to update and let you know if I keep using this, how quickly it empties. This is, I'm trying to see here on the bottle how much it actually is. I'm guessing it's 30 milliliter, but I want to make sure. Yeah, it's 30 milliliters. So this in theory could last 3 months with daily use, but my guess is because of how many drops you're going to use, a little bit does not go a long way. You're probably looking at closer to 2.5 months for this one. It remains to be seen if this is like a must-have type of product, but if you're really into bifida without any frills, I think I would recommend this one. So this is Cosrx, the Ceramide Skin Barrier Moisturizing Mist. Now, last year, actually around this time, Cosrx came out with the Ceramide Skin Barrier Moisturizing Cream. And I do have a review on that. You can check it out. But spoiler alert, I am a big fan. And I think it is actually a great example of like a ceramide cholesterol fatty acid, really truly skin barrier strengthening product. And so they've started to expand the line recently, which I'm very excited about. And they've come out with this moisturizing mist, or like cream mist toner type of product. Now I know cream mist toners feel like a dime a dozen at this point in K-beauty. I'm still a really big fan of them. And what I always say is it just puts the control back into your hands about how much or how little product you really do want to apply. And it can really help you to avoid like greasy buildup on your skin. I am going to apply this right now because, like I said, that Purcell did not offer much to my skin. I can feel it actually starting to dehydrate as I'm yapping my mouth right now. This is a really nice fine mist. I'm going to shake it up just in case it's separated. And so it is a combination of the skin barrier strengthening lipids. It also has some panthenol and hyaluronic acid to keep it from being super duper creamy and rich. And so this actually has some really good ceramide content in here. They are using the lab-made ceramide. So we've got ceramide PC102, as well as 5 different types of ceramides. We have cholesterol, we have some fatty acid content in here, phytosphingosine, and then a whole host of amino acids, which also help with the panthenol and the hyaluronic acid content to really enhance hydration within the skin. So I like this because it does offer a good amount of moisture. I'm going to go in for a second layer here because my skin is very dry. And I mostly just went, if you saw, I went right in my U zone here because that is the dry area on my combo skin right now in winter. We're just getting out, like barely just getting out of a very cold snap. And when I say barely getting out of, it's like 0 degrees outside right now, which feels balmy, warm, and comfortable because the last almost 2 full weeks, it's been like minus 20 degrees outside. And so my skin's been going through it. Actually, my barrier has not been too bad because I did that barrier skin reset routine that really did help my skin barrier bounce back. And now it's mostly been maintenance, but I did notice a little bit of dry, flaky skin on my chin. So this definitely does have a little bit of a glowy finish to it. I think particularly because my skin was feeling a little bit dry. It wasn't totally moist. So I am getting just a little bit of that up at top. But it is something that offers a little bit of a glow, but not too much. It's actually very comfortable. My skin does not feel that tight feeling that I was getting before. Good amount of hydration, a nice kiss of moisture. My skin feels really balanced, especially with that second layer that I put on. I've been playing with this one a lot. It's not enough moisture when my skin is really, really dry. I will admit, I do prefer more of like a pore type of creamy toner or essence, something even with a lot more moisture. But right now, like this, I can see being helpful in about a month from now when it's not 0 degrees outside, but it's like 40 degrees outside. I can see that being very, very helpful for my skin as we transition, from late winter into early spring. It's still pretty chilly and dry, but this type of moisture is like medium amount of moisture would be the right amount. This does not have any fragrances, essential oils, drying forms of alcohol. It's very sensitive, skin friendly. The formula itself is like hardcore good for your skin barrier. You know what I'm saying? So many good ceramides in here. It really follows in the footsteps of the moisturizer that I really like and really adore. I think it's one of the better examples of a skin barrier mist or skin barrier cream toner. Other ones I feel like are also good, but they just don't have the ceramide content that this particular one from Cosrx has. I'm not mad at it. I can't really find anything I don't like about this. Like I said, I've been using this one for a while. I was really excited about this one. I opened it up first and I have been enjoying it. I've been doing a couple of layers and that's been pretty good for my skin. Like I said, I know ideally this is going to be better for me in the coming weeks than it is right at this moment. This moment really just calls for something completely different, right? But if you're looking for something for combo skin, definitely that's suffering with a little more extra dryness or dehydration, this would be really great. If you have really dry skin, you might find that it's not quite enough. And if you have oily skin, but you like these types of products as a final layer, a layer, 1 or 2 layers of this at the end of your routine, rather like towards the beginning, I think that that would be appropriate for you just because the mist allows you to control so much. This is the dr.ceuracle Jeju Matcha Tea Essence. And let me tell you, I was very excited to see this on YesStyle back in early December when I ordered this because I am a huge fan of the dr.ceuracle Vegan Kombucha Tea Essence for straight up 4 years now. I think it's been maybe 5. And so I saw this is a new release from dr.ceuracle and I was like, OMG, a matcha version because it's exactly the same. Instead of the kombucha tea, we've got the matcha tea, the creamy portion, bi-phase essence. Mix the 2 layers together with creamy, moisturization plus the hydration and all the tea benefits, the antioxidants, the complexion evening, the healthy lit from within glow, all of the great things that, green tea and matcha will bring out in your skin. I was like, yes. Love this. This is a little bit different, even just from the ingredients list before we even dive into texture and performance. So like I said, main star here is going to be the green tea or the matcha. So there's 71% of green tea water. And then they also have the green tea extract in here. They are also using PHA and LHA. So these are actually really gentle chemical exfoliants. PHA acts kind of like a glycolic acid, but just like a million steps gentler than that. And it really helps to exfoliate on top of the skin, great for texture, dullness. It really brightens up the skin. And then the LHA is like a couple steps down from a salicylic acid. So it actually exfoliates inside the pore, more for congestion, clogged pores, acne. And so there is some really gentle exfoliation in here. That is definitely different from the kombucha version of this product. And then they're actually using quite a bit of peptides, 9 different peptides that are supposed to help particularly with skin elasticity and improving the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. Something else that is different about this product is that it does contain fragrance, where the kombucha version does not contain any artificial fragrance, no essential oils, no fragrant compounds, nothing of that sort. But the matcha version does contain some artificial fragrance. It does smell like matcha. It smells like a matcha latte, actually. It's actually quite good. It's very earthy, very matcha-like, but there is also, you can tell that it is just like a perfumed version of that. There is just a little bit of a heightened sort of like floral note to it. Like they're really emphasizing that floral note in matcha rather than the real earthiness that you get like when you make a matcha yourself or when you drink it without sweetener, right? You know what I'm talking about, like that earthiness that green tea has. That is present, but then I think they kind of amped it up just a little bit. I feel like there was a natural scent to this, and then they just sort of like enhanced it with the fragrance. And so then on top of that, you get more of a floral note. I don't want to use the word artificial because that makes it sound like it's like a fake green tea smell. It definitely smells like real green tea, but there's just like a floral note on top that feels added. Let's put it that way. It feels added. It doesn't feel like authentic to just the extract itself, right? And that's where the added fragrance comes in. So hopefully that description helps you understand how it smells. As far as the level of fragrance, I would say it's about medium. It isn't not like noticeable. It is noticeable. I wouldn't say that it super duper lingers. When I use this, I feel like I was still kind of like every so often faintly catching a hint of this scent. Probably about within an hour or two of applying it to my face, I was still kind of smelling it, but then after that I didn't. So it does linger a bit. Now with this one, it is geared a little bit more towards oily skin, I think, because it is actually lighter in the texture. So, when I keep saying lighter, then I do mean the kombucha essence. I feel like I'm not being very clear about that. Everything is going to be based off of that and in comparison to that, because I have so much love and so much experience with that product. And this is basically a version of that. So, woof, I'm not used to using fragrance skincare. Every time I use this, I'm like, woo, I always forget that there's so much scent to this. It's pleasant, but I'm just not used to it. So I would say that where the kombucha is pretty moisturizing, this one is much more lighter in the creaminess of it. The texture is still fairly the same when you mix it together. You get that watery creaminess. It's not like full on thick body cream and like oily feeling. But there is a bit more hydration to this one. It's a little bit thinner as it spreads across the skin and as it absorbs into the skin. And then that creaminess is just like a kiss on top. I find this a little bit more balancing. I do believe that they are gearing this more towards folks with a little more oil on their skin that might be a little bit more acne prone. I think that the kombucha essence has sometimes proven to be a little too heavy for some oily folks. And so I think that this is a lighter version for those types of people who have struggled with the kombucha essence, but do know that there's still a good amount of moisture here. I would say it's almost on par with the Cosrx mist that we just used in terms of how much moisture it provides. So it's not the most moisturizing, but it's definitely not like light either, somewhere in between. Now let me tell you about this one. I don't usually use fragrance products. As I mentioned, I do have sensitive skin, so I just generally avoid it. I'm more sensitive to straight up essential oils in skincare than I am to artificial fragrance. I'll always take a chance with some artificial fragrance. Most times, I would say like 75 to 80% of the time, it's fine for me. But I also just think as somebody who tests so much skincare, it really cuts down on potential irritation for me if I just don't mess with it on the regs. You know what I mean? So just so you know where I'm at, if you're a new viewer here, I don't usually use fragrance. I'm not against it. I don't think it's bad. This mug dictates what works for it, right? The face is in charge. So anyways, been using this now for actually just a few days, and it's kind of irritating for my skin. Not hardcore like my skin is burning and irritated, but already I can feel a little bit of stimulation. Now, LHA and PHA in here, right? I do think that it is the combination of the exfoliants and the artificial fragrance, for me personally, together, that is causing this mild irritation and discomfort on my skin. And I also noticed my skin was a little bit more dry at the surface after using this. It could be that harsh weather that I just told you about earlier, right? It could be that. It could be this might be a little too exfoliating for my skin, but ultimately I think the exfoliants are actually bringing the fragrance a little bit deeper into my skin. And that's where I'm getting some of that uncomfortable feeling. If I were to continue to use this morning and nighttime for like a week or two straight, I would start to have some sensitive issues, some irritation, a weakened skin barrier. That's just me personally. This product's not for me, right? The kombucha tea essence is for me, and I always knew I was taking a chance with that fragrance. That being said, though, I do find this a bit disappointing. I don't think the fragrance is necessary. It's nice. Like I'm saying, I like how this smells, but it's not necessary. I think that just the smell of green tea is fine, even if it's faint, even if it's not lingering, right? I don't think it's necessary to walk around smelling like a matcha latte. This dog. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't really want to go around smelling like a matcha latte, so I don't think it's necessary. But I know some folks are really going to adore the scent of this, right? And then this is a product that is for you. You know, my opinion on this one, I think if you want some of that gentle exfoliation from the alternative chemical exfoliators, right? PHA and LHA, do know that while they are gentler, they are still chemical exfoliation. So this may be something that you don't want to use morning and nighttime. You may want to use it once a day or once every other day, once every, like 3 days a week, or whatever your exfoliation routine that works for you. You are the genius of your skin, right? So you know what's best. But do know that there is exfoliation, 2 forms in here. And so that could pose some issues for sensitive skin, but it is generally more geared towards folks who need that type of exfoliation. Oily skin, congested skin, skin with a lot of texture issues, dullness. This is probably going to do you better than the kombucha essence. It's not my favorite. I think it's kind of a weaker rollout from Dr.Ceuracle. I think they probably could have just done this product without the exfoliation, even keeping the fragrance, but without the exfoliation. I think it would have been a little bit more compelling, but I know that there is so many more people right now interested in addressing a lot of texture, pores, that type of thing. And so those exfoliants definitely could address those issues where the kombucha essence without the exfoliation isn't really going to do that, right? So yeah, just from my personal opinion, it's not really exciting. It's not something that I'm personally going to continue to use after making this video because like I said, it is causing, I can feel it right now. My skin just does not feel great. It's not burning or anything, but I can just feel that my skin is like not loving this on it right now. And like I said, if I continue to use it, irritation and a weak skin barrier will ensue. So is this like a 1-for-1 like matcha version of the more famous kombucha essence? It's not. I wish it was. I wish you could go back and forth between the 2 different teas like interchangeably. But of course they wanted to roll out something that offered different benefits. And this is different. And I think for folks who have not liked the kombucha essence, they'll like this one. For folks who liked the kombucha essence, this is probably going to miss the mark. So I'm curious if you've tried anything new. Give us your middle or final impressions of the products in the comments below, and let me know if you've tried any of these or if you're interested in them. And if this video was helpful, please hit subscribe and come join our skincare community, especially if you love talking about K-beauty, talking about ingredients, testing out textures. That's what my channel is all about. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications so you're never out of the loop. Thanks so much for being here with me today. I just want to encourage you to keep shining your bright individual light. I love you, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.